Hey, in this week's English lesson, we want to help you, yes you, finally start thinking in English. You heard us right. You're going to stop translating in your mind. Instead, you'll start thinking in English and speaking English with confidence. Are you ready? Let's jump right in.
Tip number one. Tip number one is to surround yourself with English. Let us break this down. In other words, you need to immerse yourself in English-speaking environments as much as possible. This includes watching movies, listening to music, and reading books in English. The more you expose yourself, the easier it will be to start thinking in English.
Now, let us say something that will hopefully encourage you. When we were teaching English in South Korea, we had thousands of students, but there was one student that we will never ever forget. This individual came into our class, and when he started speaking to us, we literally wondered in our minds, why is he in our class? That's how good his English was. His pronunciation was great, his thought process was amazing, and the way he articulated his ideas blew us away.
So we asked him, have you ever lived abroad? Did you ever study in America? He said, no, I've never lived abroad and I've never studied abroad. So immediately we were curious, how are you able to speak English so well? And you know what he told us? This tip right here. He immersed himself. He surrounded himself with English, watching English movies, watching YouTube videos in English, listening to English podcasts. So much so that his English became amazing.
So if you're wondering, is this possible? Yes. It doesn't matter where you live. There might not be any other English speaker around you. Don't worry. Remember this tip. When you surround yourself with English, your English will improve. And your ability to think in English will also improve. You got us? Let's keep it moving.
Tip number two. Tip number two is to speak out loud. Yes, you heard us. Speak out loud. Listen closely. It's important for you to practice speaking English out loud whenever you can. For example, describe your environment. Think of English words to describe various situations, or simply talk to yourself in English. This will help you become more comfortable with thinking in English. It will literally force you to organize your thoughts in English.
Before you speak, you have to think, right? So it doesn't matter if you are living alone or if you are in a country where there's no one else around you. While you're sitting there in your room, in your kitchen, or maybe while you're at work, think about your activity and speak about it. Now, maybe if you're at work, your coworkers might look at you a little funny. So try this when you're in an environment where it won't matter if you're speaking out loud. But it's important to articulate your thoughts. It's important to say them out loud. And when we say out loud, we don't mean simple phrases like introductions. Listen, as your English teachers, remember, we believe in you, and you need to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, your shoulders go back. You speak with more confidence. Speak out loud and with confidence. You have to believe in yourself. So tip number two, speak out loud. Makes sense, right? Now, before we go on, we want to remind you that every week we send out tips that help English learners around the world improve their English. So if you're not already getting our free newsletter, a free newsletter via email, all you have to do is go to www.speakenglishwithtiffany.com/newsletter. We want to help you. And if you'd like to get these free emails, please go to the link and join this email newsletter. We want to help you even more. All right, so let's now go to tip number three.
Tip number three is to use images. Use images. Instead of relying on translating words in your head, try to connect English words to their meanings by using actual images. Yes, pictures. You can also create flashcards in order to connect English words with their concepts. We use this in our classrooms all the time when we were teaching English in Korea. We remember being hired to help some soldiers. They were on the military base and they were trying to learn English, and we used images, and they absolutely loved it.
Why? Because it was a fun way to learn English. We would show them a picture and then ask them individually to describe it, to pick a word that describes the picture. And they would start thinking of different words because there's something that happens when you use images. It activates a different side of your brain, and it makes the learning process more enjoyable. So in order to start thinking in English, start using images, and it will trigger certain things in your brain.
So no matter what word you say or if you find a new word, that word will now, moving forward, be connected to that image in your brain. Makes sense, right? Okay, let's move on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is also an important one. Think in English during everyday activities. You see, when you're performing simple tasks like cooking or driving, it's important for you to try to think in English. For example, describe the steps you are taking, anticipate what you need to do next, and create simple English sentences to describe your daily activities.
We used to do this when we were in South Korea studying Korean. Whenever we had to take a taxi and it was driving us from one destination to another, we would, in our minds, in Korean, say, he's about to turn left. Now he's about to turn right. He's going to go forward. He's going to stop at this light. But we were saying it in Korean. Why? To practice using Korean over and over again. And you can do the same thing. Think in English during your everyday activities. I'm pouring some water into my cup. I'm calling my friend to tell them something. Think in English and describe your everyday activities. You'll be amazed how quickly you'll start thinking in English. Makes sense, right? All right, here we go. Let's go to tip number 5.
Tip number 5, another important one. Tip number 5 is to practice thinking in English during quiet moments. Use the quiet moments of your day to think in English. This is a great tip because it will encourage you to be calm when you think in English. Let us break this down. Normally, when you find yourself in a situation where someone asks you a question in English, whether it's a native English speaker or another learner who may be more advanced than you, what happens? You immediately feel a bit nervous. Maybe your palms start to sweat and it seems like your mind goes blank, right? Nervousness becomes attached to speaking in English. But now we are changing this emotion. Tip number 5, in your quiet moments when you are calm and relaxed, start thinking in English. Think about your day. Think about your friend, your family member, your spouse. Describe that person. Describe that situation. Now a feeling of calm and relaxation will be attached to thinking in English. That makes sense, right? Speaking in English is about words and expressions, but it's also about managing your emotions and staying calm. There's an expression, calm, cool, and collected. This is a tip that will help you starting today. Let's move on to tip number 6.
Tip number 6. Avoid using translation apps too much. Notice that we didn't say completely. Translation apps are not bad, but don't use them too much. Let us explain. They can sometimes be helpful, but depending on them too much can interrupt your ability to think in English. Instead, we want you to challenge yourself to find alternative ways to express your thoughts in English without relying too heavily on translations.
Here's something interesting. We were teaching a class 2 weeks ago, and a new student joined our group. We could tell the student was searching for a specific word. We've taught thousands of students, so we can read students quite well. We know when it's important for us to help and when it's important to wait and let the student work through it themselves. This was one of those moments.
It was the moment when we needed to relax and just listen and let the student handle it. We could tell she wanted us to give her the word, but she could also see from our facial expressions that we were going to wait and wanted her to figure it out. She didn't say the exact word she was searching for, but she found an alternative way to say what she meant, and we smiled. That's what happens when you don't depend too much on translation apps. When you don't stop and think you must find the exact word, it's okay. Find other words in your brain that you can use to express yourself. Then later, look up that word. But in the moment, it's okay. Work through it. Once again, tip number 6, avoid using translation apps too often. You don't want to rely on them too much. Tip number 7, use context clues.
When you encounter unknown words or expressions in English, don't worry. Remember, we talked about being calm, cool, and collected. Instead, try to understand their meaning based on the context in which they are used. Look at the text, look at where the word appears, and think about what is happening. This will help you stop relying so much on translations and focus more on understanding the overall message. In other words, it will help you think more in English. Remember, these tips will help you transform your English. It's possible. We believe in you. You can do it. Just apply these tips that you're learning.
Tip number 8. Keep a journal. Keep a journal. We actually have many journals. We use journals for many aspects of our work and also for personal reasons. We write when we wake up, when we study the Bible, and when ideas come to our minds throughout the day. When you keep a journal, you'll be able to start thinking in English even more.
Start writing a journal in English regularly. Write your thoughts, your feelings, and your experiences. This will help you practice thinking in English and improve your writing skills at the same time. It doesn't have to be long. It's about building the habit of writing regularly and organizing your thoughts and ideas using words to describe what you experienced during the day.
Tip number 9. Share conversations with native English speakers. Before we finish, we want to remind you of something. Native